Welcome back to another episode of Ruthless TV, where I break down Tyler Perry's hit cable series Ruthless scene by scene. Now let's get into this recap. The scene opens with Andrew and Daikon standing at the tomb, waiting to... No, I'm just joking. They weren't at the tomb. They were standing right in front of the trailer trying to figure out where William's body had been moved to, because once they looked down under the trailer, his body had been moved, which is what we all suspected, right? Since last week, everybody's been talking about the body's been moved or William's still alive, but we can lay that theory to rest. The body had been moved, and everybody thought that River had moved the body, so he kind of did, and we're going to get into that as well. So at this point, Daikon doesn't believe anything that Andrew is saying, because what he's telling him is not really adding up. So he told Andrew, look, tell me exactly what happened. So then Andrew goes into, the highest raping him. He wanted to kill the highest. And then the boy said that he was going to go to the sheriff's station. So Andrew said that he chased him and then he choked him out. And then Andrew said that he didn't want women to see the boy getting hurt, which is why he killed him and he wanted to just take him out. And Daikon was like, well, how did you even have time to think about all of that? You had time to think about women and the boy getting hurt, but you told me that it happened so quick. So how can it be quick when you had time to think about all of that? And then, of course, Andrew's getting all defensive as usual. And then Daikon told him, don't get defensive. And Andrew was like, look, we've already been over this. You don't trust me. And we've already gone through this once. And then Daikon said, well, that worked the last time, but not this time. Andrew was still trying to convince him. He was like, well, look at the footprints. Look at the imprints where the body was dragged across the grass. And again, Daikon still didn't believe him. And he said, look, let's just go see the highest. So as they're entering the highest trailer, we hear the Arabian flute music playing all throughout the trailer. The highest is really chilling tonight. And so they walked in, and then the highest was like, there's a lot going on tonight. What's happening? And then Andrew, explained to him that I took Daikon to the spot where it happened. And then the highest said, say what it is. And the highest was like, you mean kill, murder, took the life of the boy? And then Andrew said, the body is gone and I don't know what happened. And then the highest goes, I know what happened. I went and I got the body and I touched him. He lives. Oh my gosh, he really thinks he's a god, for real. And I'm sure that he did take William's body inside and blew all that fairy dust in his face to try to get him to wake up like he did Lynn. But anyway, the highest then goes on to ask Andrew, what really happened? Is there something that you want to tell me? And then he said, well, no, I've been telling you the truth the whole time. And then the highest said, well, the boy has a different story. And Andrew was like, well, I don't know what his story is, but I'm not lying. I don't tell lies anymore because of the Rakumas. He doesn't lie anymore. So anyway, I guess they were just, again, still testing him. They're going to keep testing him. I don't know why, but I do know why, but it's just kind of repetitive. We don't know what to expect next. But anyway, and then Andrew said, well, what did the boy tell you? And then the highest said, well, why don't we just ask him? Then he starts calling for the boy. And he called the boy twice. Of course, the boy did not move. And then he told Andrew, look, why don't you just go in there? Why don't you just go in there and wake him up? And I'm like, okay, if the boy is dead, how's he going to wake him up? But anyway, Andrew obliged. He went on in there and tried to wake him up. Of course, he was afraid and, just tippy-toeing, trying to like a kid who's trying to touch a hot stove. And you just know you're going to get burned or no. I guess he was expecting William to like pop up or something, but that really freaked him out. You could tell he was kind of nervous to do that. But anyway, William did not wake up, to say the least. Then Andrew came back out and said, I'm sorry, the highest, but the boy cannot be awakened. And then the highest said, well, he was awake a minute ago. Do you doubt? And then he ordered Andrew to go to his room and that they would speak about it in the morning. The highest told Daikon that he gave the boy a ritual bath to ensure that he had a proper burial. I even made a video last week on these ritual baths because I was trying to figure out, what was going on with all the baths. And I'll leave a link to it here so you can check it out. But anyway, he blames Daikon for the boy's death and said that, he's dead because of you, because you always have to test people. And where am I going to find other boys? Then Daikon says, there are other boys. And then the highest was like, well, I wanted William, So then he ordered Daikon to get out of his face, and that ended the scene. Then we move on to the three blind mice, Zane, Lacey, and Paula. Again, they're prepping to escape. They're, jumping up out of the bed, putting their cloaks on, and just getting ready to head out. Then Lacey all of a sudden tried to open the door, and the door is locked from the outside. So then shortly after that, Elder Mother comes in and catches them. And she's like, where are you guys going? And what's really funny to me is how they sleep in those cloaks, because it's the middle of the morning. Like, I think about 3 a.m. is what they had planned to leave out at that time. But it's 3 a.m. But Elder Mother has on the cloak. She's got on the brooch. She's fully dressed. I mean, I guess maybe her and the other Elder Mother don't wear night clothes. But anyway, she catches them and asks them, where are you going? And Lacey said, well, we're going to the bathroom. And she ordered them to go back to bed and told them that because of what happened to the other Elder Mother in the red trailer, that she's going to make sure that she locks the doors every single night and not to even try it. And Lacey said, well, what if there's a fire? And she said, well, we'll all go to the rock pool together. No, go back to bed. Go back to bed. And then Lacey said, we're trapped in here like animals. And then Paula said, well, look, we'll just leave tomorrow. Let's just leave in the daytime at, whatever chance we get, we're just going to go. And Zane, she's still stuck to her guns, and she's like, I'm not going anywhere. So I just really think they need to be careful because, again, they don't have a plan of action. They just want to leave. And it's like, you haven't even thought this out. You don't, at the first open opportunity, you're just going to pop up and leave. Like, how? Do you know how thick those woods are, girl? I don't know. I'm just really hoping that they're gonna smarten up soon. Then we cut to Brian and Lynn. Brian slept downstairs. Lynn came downstairs to join him, and she was asking, did you sleep down here? And I thought maybe you would lay down with me and forgive me and just hug on me anyway. And then Brian calls her crazy. He said, you're crazy. And I don't know why she's trying to make him leave, but he doesn't want to leave apparently. And this was a kind of confusing scene to me because she kept going back and forth. She kept cursing him out, calling him names, and then she'll love on him a little bit, and then she'll pull back, and I don't know, just kind of went back and forth with them. And she said, I just want you to forgive me. And then Lynn said, well, I'm gonna need some help. I need some help. Can't you see that I need help? And then Brian says that Lynn was enjoying the emotional roller coaster. Then Lynn said that she's going to keep enjoying, taking him on this ride until you leave, mother effer. Then she calls him the B word and says that you're a soft, forgiving twitch. And then he said, you don't know how to love. And then she said, why don't you just leave and never come back? And, it just kind of went back and forth. First, she's asking for help. She wants to be in love. And then she's cursing him out, calling him names. That was the most confusing scene ever. So they get an award for that. And just a side note here, I think that she is lying to Brian about sleeping with Malcolm, because when he left out of the door, she gave this, oh gosh, like I don't really want to do this, but I know I have to do this. And then especially Malcolm is telling everyone that he never slept with her and that she's crazy. So maybe she's going through some type of mental breakdown and some type of drug, I don't know, something. But something is definitely going on with her because her scenes just don't make any sense whatsoever. All right, then we move on to scene number 4. We have Andrew and River. I did a video on River yesterday, and I'm going to add helper to River's resume because he wants to help everybody. He wants to save everybody. He wants to help Ruth. He wants to help Joan. And now he wants to help Andrew. So I don't know. He wants to be everybody's ally. But anyway, River said that he told Andrew that he helped the highest drag. I'm sorry. River admitted to Daikon that he helped the highest drag William's body into the house. Look, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read and be off script at the same time. So just bear with me, guys. Anyway, River took credit for bringing the highest and the boy together and said that the boy fulfilled his needs, and he told Andrew that he know that killing someone isn't easy, and he knows that he's tossing and turning at night, and he said that he could help him. And Andrew asked he asked River how old William was, and he told him that he was 17. Then River complimented him and pointed out that he's different from all the other followers, and he doesn't follow behind the highest blindly, and that he's a bit different, and he also knows how to neutralize things. And then Andrew said, yeah, whatever, I gotta get back to my post, and then that ended the scene. Then we move on to Mac and Brian, and Brian is letting Mac know that things are not going good at the sheriff's office, and how he expects or suspects that Sheriff Connolly is in with the Rakadushis. Then he kind of asks Mac about Andrew being compromised. And then he went on to tell him that, look, I don't want to work around Malcolm, and he wants him to do something about it. He said, if he's going to be here, I'm just going to get a transfer to a different department. Then Mac tells him that there's absolutely nothing that he can do about two consenting adults that are having an affair. Then Brian leaves. Then we move on to Elder Mother Agnes, Tally, and Joan. Elder Mother Agnes walks in there and she wakes the girls up and she says, "Rise, girls." She's waking them up and tells them that they need to get to the kitchen. And look, if you're ever around her, make sure you're in that kitchen, because they take that kitchen seriously, right? There's something serious when it comes to that kitchen. But anyway, she scolds Tally for not being the first one up and dressed. And I guess they slept in late because Musty Yancey was at the window still trying to get some yum yum from Tally. And she also reminded these girls that she's not going to go get punished because of what they're not doing. And then she told Tally that she's setting a bad example, and told her that if you don't straighten up, you gonna go to the cooler. So Tally better get in line. Good morning. Then we move on to Melinda and Elder Mother Marva. Melinda hands over the phone to Elder Mother, and Elder Mother is a little surprised that she got her phone back, and she notices that Melinda has lots of messages from that government man, the evil government man. And I think she has Melinda's phone tapped, because Melinda said, well, I'll check all the messages later. And she said, well, I've already checked them and he wants to see you. So, go ahead and put on those same clothes. Put on the same clothes that you had on, so that he won't think that you have options. Now, Dirty Melinda has officially earned her new name, Dirty Melinda. I rest my case. I'll leave a link to that video in the description as well. Then we cut to the sheriff's station, and Brian's shift begins, and this is where Polk's shift ends. So Brian comes into the station, and Polk is still feeling threatened by Brian for whatever reason. And Brian knows it too, and he tries to assure Polk that he doesn't really want his job, and he doesn't have any aspiration whatsoever to be the sheriff of that town. And to put his mind at ease, he told him, look, this town is too slow for me, and I really want to get back to the city. There's really not a lot to take from this scene, other than the fact that Brian is still fishing for information on Sheriff Connolly to see, everything that he can dig up on him, because he thinks that he's in with the Rakadushis. And of course, Polk is still moping over Melinda. He's moping over the fact that she drugged him, and, it was a setup, and he got the sheriff's records compromised, and he's really sad and just really, especially now that she won't even pick up the phone to answer his call. So he's a bit down in the dumps, but that kind of, that's all that this scene is about. It's not really a whole lot to take from it. Then we cut to Ruth and Andrew. As Ruth is approaching Andrew, he warns her to get away from him, and he thinks that Ruth encouraged Tally to sleep with Musty Yancey on the bus. And Ruth had to tell him that the only reason that she went through with it is because she didn't know if Andrew was coming back, and she was also trying to get the keys, the master key for the kids' trailer. Ruth assured Andrew that Tally really loves him. And then Andrew said, "Get the F away from me, Ruth, right now." And then Ruth said, "Yes, brother. Yes, brother. Have a good day." And then she walked off. That ended the scene. Then we cut back to the sheriff's office, and this is where Conley enters the scene. Brian is questioning him about going up to the compound, and Brian tells him, "I'm ready to go. Let's go." And then Sheriff Conley said, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. I've already been up there this morning, and he's got the money for the locals to replace their truck, and that all is well." And Brian was in disbelief because he couldn't believe that Sheriff Conley went to the compound without him. And he questioned Sheriff Conley about his possible involvement with the Rakadushis, and told him that if he finds out that he's involved in any way whatsoever, that the FBI is going to shut the station down, and that Sheriff Conley will be the first person that he arrests. Then Brian left. He said he's going to go to that compound, with or without him, and he was on his way. Then we cut to Ruth and Tally. Then they could just kind of bump into each other and reminiscing, saying they miss each other. Just a lot of small talk. They were, telling each other who they're bunking with. And Tally wanted to know about the highest. And Ruth was like, I'm not going to say anything about the highest because you're going to say something stupid. So I'm just going to, hold that conversation till a later time or something. And then she said, "Well, can we talk about Andrew?" And she said, "Well, yeah." And then she told Ruth that Yancey was harassing her. And Ruth encouraged her to basically let Andrew know what was going on, because he probably wanted to kill Musty Yancey anyway for sleeping with Tally. So she encouraged her to, to go ahead and tell Andrew what's going on, be honest with him so that he can handle it. And she said, let's just go back, let's get out of here before the old twitches start looking for them, because this is the time that they doze off in the kitchen. I told y'all they love that kitchen. I told you. All right, then we cut to Malcolm and Mac. Malcolm enters the office, and he's telling Mac that he did not sit with Lynn, and Mac wanted to know why Sarah was back at her house, and Malcolm was like, "Well, I'm going to protect her." And I'm just a little sick of Mac at this point. He lets people in and out of his office, and they can just basically do whatever they want to do. He doesn't have any type of authoritative control over his department. And it's really making me feel a certain way, like, you're the boss. Act like it. Anyway, he allows Andrew to come in as he pleases. He can't stop Brian from requesting a transfer. And now he's allowing Malcolm to risk Sarah and Andrew's life because she wants to be at home. Okay, so just, foolishness. Anyway, he's an FBI agent. So I don't know, it just seems like he would be ruling with an iron fist, but whatever. Anyway, Malcolm gets up and walks out, and talking to him like he's not the boss. And I'ma just need Mac to tighten up, period. Then we cut back to River, and River's walking around the compound with his, folded hands and Freemason symbolism all day. Then he runs into Ruth. Look, Ruth can't be doing any work because she's running into everybody, stopping, having conversations. She's ran into Andrew, Tally, and now River. And River wants to know if she took care of Daikon, quote unquote. And then he told her that her pee must be tired. And Ruth said, "Well, your a-hole must be tired too." So they're just, insulting each other with those jokes. But anyway, Ruth asks him, how to get a man to stop harassing a woman. And River says that women aren't the only ones who get harassed. And he goes on to tell her about elder mother Marva liking young boys, and because she wants to have sex with them, and calling her a freak. By the time he said this, baby tiger steps out of the trailer. Elder mother comes out, and she says, "Ruth, what are you doing?" And then Ruth said, "I'm on my way to the garden." Then she advised Ruth to go on, and River speaks to her, and then she says, she lets out this infamous rolling tiger growl. Elder mother ain't no joke, boy, I tell you. Anyway, then we cut to Andrew sitting under the shed playing with his G.I. Joe toys. Then Tally walks up, And she's begging and pleading Andrew to forgive her, and she's, you know, expressing how sorry she is. And Andrew was pretty stoic through the whole conversation. He just didn't want to hear it. And she's very apologetic, and she wants to be open with their relationship. She wants to tell the highest everything and just kind of, you know, lay it all at his feet so that he can forgive her. And she basically, you know, confesses again that she's pregnant. You know, at this point, I don't know if she's pregnant or not. And if she is pregnant, she should be showing somewhere. I mean, their tummies are on flat, hers and Ruth's. So I don't know who's pregnant, who's not pregnant. But anyway, Andrew tells her that if she tells the highest, then she's going to be punished. And Lord, she don't need no more punishments. That girl gets the most punishments. Oh my gosh. But anyway, he told her, you know, go ahead and do what you got to do. If you want to tell the highest, you go right ahead, but you're going to have to suffer a punishment. And then as she was walking away, he said, wait, you know, just, you know, chill out. Don't, you know, say anything yet. And she wants to meet him at the path. I think she said the path tonight after midnight. And he just said, okay. Then the final scene includes Sanford and Son getting out. I don't know, this Sanford and Son truck is throwing me off. We don't know who it is. Their face is covered, but they get out of the truck and they walk into it looks like Sarah's house, and they walk in there. She's in there taking a shower, and then he opens the door, walks into the bathroom, and he shoots her in the back twice, and that ended the scene. I don't think that this is Oliver. It doesn't fit Oliver's character, number one. It doesn't look like him. He doesn't have the same build. He's not as tall as Oliver. I don't know. I don't think it's Oliver, but looks like someone has shot her in the back twice. And that's it. That concludes this episode of Tyler Perry's Ruthless. Again, you guys could have been doing so many other things, but I do appreciate you taking the time to listen to the video. So go ahead and like the video if you liked it. If you don't like it, say you don't like it and then tell me why. All right, so liking the video, it actually does something to the algorithm where it puts this video and others like it in front of other Ruthless fans who may not have otherwise found the video. So liking the video really helps the community here. So I'd appreciate a like, a subscription, and share the video if you care. All right, thank you so much, you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.